Movies and Money reports of review bombing seem to be hurting ticket sales of Snow White. Let's bring in film critic Erik, Childress, founder of the Movie Madness podcast. Fair to say Snow White is a children's movie after all, but it's getting plenty of comments coming from adults as it slipped from the #1 spot at the box office, taken over by A Working Man.
Yeah, it felt like a shock to the system for some when the numbers began coming in last Friday. Not that A Working Man posted huge numbers, but there was plenty enough to overtake a film that cannot get away from the headlines or audiences' disinterest in just another retelling of a story that they know full well. Now, Snow White fell over 66% down to $14 million, while A Working Man bested it with over $15 million, just slightly less than last year's The Beekeeper. Say the film cost a reported $40 million, and if it can get itself to $100 million globally, we can put it in the win column that it really wants. So far, it's made over $30 million. I think trade magazines running hit pieces on Rachel Ziegler and putting the blame on her feet for this disaster is pathetic. Chalk this up as a project that was practically doomed from the start.
Family audiences are in focus this weekend with the adaptation of popular video games. Will a Minecraft movie be the spark the box office needs?
Well, if all goes as expected, it will at least look like a spark. In all likelihood, a Minecraft movie should easily have the second highest opening of the year, expected somewhere in the $50 million range. Now, no one is expecting Super Mario Bros. Numbers here, but at least for theaters, this is going to be a welcome relief with popcorn and candy sales getting a boost. Now, Warner Bros. Is also banking a lot on this one, which has been in development for about a decade, and even had release dates shifted before a frame of film had even been shot. They originally wanted this movie for 2019, well before the pandemic, but it never began filming until 5 years later. Warner Bros. Now has a $150 million production they are hoping grosses at least as much domestically, but is going to be counting on the love of the game across the globe to get this across the finish line so it doesn't join their recent failures of Mickey 17 and the Alto Knights. In related news, Ketchup Entertainment completed their acquisition this week of Coyote vs. Acme. The film was infamously shelved by Warner Bros. And David Zaslav along with Batgirl to gain tax breaks rather than release the completed films to theaters for audiences. Here's hoping audiences will reward Ketchup for rescuing this film when it is slated to come out in 2026.
A tall tale about a dog goes wide this weekend. Here's a look at The Friend.
Iris, I need to talk with you. It's about the dog. I wanted to ask if you could take him.
No, I can't. No.
This is what Walter wanted after he died.
Why would he say that?
You were his best friend.
This looks like a sweet film, and it makes your movie star's recommendations list.
Yes, Angie, there's a film called The Friend. Now, you may have seen Naomi Watts and Bill Murray making the talk show rounds along with a great date named Bing, who plays Apollo in the film, which is about a writing teacher played by Watts, whose good friend and mentor played by Murray dies, and he bequeaths his beloved dog into her care. Now, it may seem like a kind of wacky throwaway animal hijinks film, it's actually a really moving drama about grief. Not just our human reaction to it, but through the eyes of an animal who may have even less faculties to process and understand what has happened. The film is a really nice showcase for Watts, who gets to do her best work in years, and there's an extended scene between Murray and her late in the film that is a real standout. Here's another example of a really solid adult drama being released in theaters that I hope audiences will find and embrace so we can get more of them just like it.
That is always terrific. And Erik, we would be remiss if we failed to mention the passing of actor Val Kilmer, whose final major role as Iceman in Top Gun Maverick happened in 2022. A very fine actor gone at the age of 65. Thank you, Erik.
Thank you, Angie.